You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Rumble season. It's Rumble season. Rumpelstiltskin season is upon us. So lots of probably Rumble talk. Probably from now until after the Rumble, it's going to be lots of Rumble talk. So if you're not interested in Rumble talk, this is the wrong show for you to be listening to. If you're interested in Rumble talk, this is the show to listen to because we're going to do it. And that's just the way we got to do it. Right? Right. Beefs the Legend is here. Tiger Bomb Tom is here. I'm Captain Dumbo McDumsky. You know me. I'm here as well. Poots. I don't know. Can't count on the Bart anymore. He'll be here, maybe, or he won't. Or, I'm sure when he shows up, everybody will know it because he'll come in like a wrecking ball. In any case, it's time for Tickle Me Elmo and also Rumble Time Talkie 2. So, go.
Coming like a wrecking ball.
What do you guys think of that Rumble?
It's Rumble-tastic? I don't know. Rumble mints?
Well,
Which one? Last year, I think, was probably the greatest Rumble of all time.
I'm having.
But I might be wrong about that.
I'm not having Rumble mints, but I am having an Angry Orchard, so not sponsored. There is that.
It's Thursday.
look, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked last year's Rumble. I did. I thought it was really good. Maybe even top 3. Really like it. But I'm gonna call it here now. Still, my favorite Rumble of all time was '98. '98 was a good Rumble.
That was
I liked it.
Stone Cold's first year, right?
Huh? Yeah, that was Stone Cold's first year. That was the year that Mick Foley did triple digits, triple number, triple entrances.
Right.
That was a good one.
It was. I like that one. That one was my favorite.
I'm not going to begrudge you that. 98 was a good year. Absolutely. I just, I like, last year had everything to me. Like, it had the surprise spots you like, the returns. It had the big moments. It had the right guys at the end and the right guy winning. It had your, Gunther going from wire to wire, setting a new Royal Rumble record. Just there was so much that was really good about it. And we
Huh?
do this. We put on those rose-colored glasses, and we're like, man, Royal Rumbles whenever I was growing up were great. No, they weren't.
Mm.
You can believe me when I say that if you think back to a Royal Rumble, it was probably crap. Oh, the year the Shawn Michaels one, crap. Both of them were garbo.
Wow.
Oh.
The Steve
Okay.
Austin
Are you
ones,
talking about
okay.
Are you talking about the
98 was
Royal
good.
Rumble match or
Yes,
the pay-per-view as a
yes.
whole?
The
Okay.
match, the Royal Rumble
Okay.
match.
That's an important distinction to make because we've had.
Yeah, I mean sometimes the events will carry, but like the Royal Rumble matches, like everybody's like, oh man, remember when there used to be like 18 surprises? Yeah. Like fucking Greg Valentine, Brutus fucking Beefcake, Virgil.
The
Yeah, let's
Hurricane.
get Coco Beware. Fucking, I'm telling you, the Hurricane spot in the Rumble 01, I think. It was either Double Aught or 01 with Triple H and Stone Cold was fucking fantastic.
It was. No,
Where
I'm
he
just
comes
saying.
in and he tries to fucking choke slam him and they're both like, is this guy fucking ribbing us? And they just fucking dump him out. Man, it was fucking wonderful.
Or
But,
the umpteen million Kofi save spots.
Yeah,
that's
like
those are dumb. I'll stand on my pillow and say that's stupid.
That's my point is that they were dumb.
the best part of the mid-aughts Rumbles, CM Punk. The fucking anytime CM Punk is involved in a Rumble match, it's great. in Madison Square Garden when he was like chilling in the corner talking to fucking John Morrison while Piper and Snooker were battling it out. That's fucking funny as hell. The fucking Sermon on the Mount. Otherwise, like okay, like they were okay, but they weren't great.
I got a Rumble that
Don't
I got one that might sneak under the radar for you.
okay.
Rumble of 2020, right before fucking all COVID broke out. I think that was a pretty good one with Brock Lesnar dominating there for the while, and then Drew McIntyre obviously eliminating him. I thought it was a pretty decent Rumble. Like all things can.
That one was not bad.
Yeah.
That was the one where Lesnar comes out whenever Keith Lee's in there, and he goes like, "Oh, he's a big." Or, no, Keith Lee comes out, he's like, "Oh, he's a big boy."
Yeah, that was that one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one was not bad, and that one stands in my mind because I was thinking the year 2019. I think is still one of the best women's rumbles. That's where Becky Lynch won, where she came in and took Lana's spot.
Becky.
That was a really good one.
What?
But like,
I'm trying to remember what year it was now. It was a couple years ago now, obviously. But I can't remember which year it was. If it was 2021 or 2022, whenever Edge came back and went tape to tape and won. I know we watched it over at Ransom's, obviously.
I think that was 21. I think that was 21.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But
yeah, because last year was 23. Damn it. Time's a cruel son of a bitch.
I know, right?
That's fine.
It may have been.
Yeah, so
because in fact it may have been 2020 that Edge returned.
No, because Drew won the 2020 Rumble because then he got his WrestleMania match with Lesnar and he won, but he won in front of nobody because that's whenever fucking COVID happened.
But yeah, but didn't Orton and
Edge
Edge have their
returned in
big
2019?
Was it 2019? Really?
Okay.
Wow.
So a year before. Time's a son of a bitch, man. I'm telling you.
Man.
I'm telling you because Edge and Orton had their big fucking stupid match in front of nobody at that WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so who the fuck won?
Edge had already been back.
Who the hell won in 2021 and 2022 now? I don't even remember.
Exactly. Nobody cares.
Wow.
Because they're forgetful, and I'm sad about it. Aww. 92 was another good one for me.
92 was good. Was
that the mainly because of Gorilla Monsoon?
Bobby
mainly
Heenan.
Because of Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Was 92
like those two on commentary?
That's not fair to Flair. That's not fair to Flair.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Those two on the mic together are always golden, and especially in that one too, because Bobby Heenan was rooting for Flair the whole match, and Monsoon would always mess with him. Like, oh, there goes Flair's going to go out now. Like, this guy's going to get Flair out. And, Heenan would freak out and lose his mind. Take a breather.
Yeah,
that's a very entertaining one for me.
That's true. 92 loses me a little bit because of the focus on Hulk Hogan. Like, even though Ric Flair won, the focus was still on old Terry, I'm a huge racist Bollea.
Oh no! People can change
because it was about him getting eliminated by Sid and getting screwed over, and it didn't sit right with me. But yes, it was very entertaining up until like the last 3 minutes. Although the tear in my eye speech, unquestionably one of the all-timers. With a tear in my eye, and again, I have no love for Ric Flair, but yeah, that was a good one, faux show. But I'm telling you, 2023, sneaky fucking good. So yeah, if you're sitting there and you're listening, and you're like, Beef, there's no way that Rumble was as good as any. Go back and compare. Go back and fucking watch, because I've watched a ton of them, and I'm telling you. Fucking snooze fest, man. Fucking snooze fest. That said, I do want to talk about one of the old Rumbles and some spots particular. I believe it was 2022 that Brock Lesnar won. I think that's correct. Where he That's where he lost the WWE title to Lashley, and then came out in the Rumble.
Yep.
So, and who knows how much of this is fucking true? According to Matt Riddle, he was told that Riddle was supposed to win the Rumble, and that Brock Lesnar went into business for himself. And again, like, I don't know how much gray area there is to Riddle's comments. Like,
Or how much
maybe
green
he was
area.
told for, yeah, that too. Like, maybe he was told for like 3 weeks leading up, and then they made a change that day. But from the interview, it sure fucking sounds like he's saying he was supposed to win, and Lesnar went into business for himself. Which sounds crazy when you say it, but whenever you unpack it, it doesn't sound so crazy. What are your thoughts, boys?
I mean, I'd have to go back and watch that particular Rumble and see how things transpired, because I don't know. It'd be hard. I mean, obviously, I didn't even remember that Lesnar won that. I had to pull up the wiki and confirm that. So
Lesnar does some pretty like hard throws in the match. I'll put it to you that way. When you go back and you kind of like watch what Brock Lesnar's doing, it becomes a little bit, I don't know. Maybe I'm buying into it. Maybe I'm just being a stupid mark. But like it doesn't seem so crazy to me.
I don't know. What do you think, Ransom?
Hang on.
I mean, I don't know. Is like, historically, is Lesnar somebody who would go into business for himself? Like, I know he's particular. Like, I know there was talks before about like whenever he had his one match or whatever
Okay.
with Dean Ambrose, that he didn't really want to do business with him at first because he didn't think that he could do good business with Dean. Like, I know he can be very particular, but is he somebody that's known for going into business for himself?
In terms of winning and losing matches, not really. But like if Brock Lesnar is told to lose a match and he doesn't want to lose a match, I don't think we'd hear about it. Because, if I'm told, okay, you're going over Lesnar, and then Lesnar like literally holds me down for the count of 3, I'm then not going to say anything about it for fear of Brock Lesnar ending my life. So, yeah.
So, clarify a few things here for me.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle said that Matt Riddle was supposed to win that Rumble. Is that correct?
Yep.
And that Brock Lesnar did what?
Went into business for himself and won.
Now, who were the final 4 in that Rumble?
I'll look that up for you, but go on.
Because that's gonna be a thing. Like, we need to know who the final 4 of that Rumble is. Just for my own.
What's the order? Order of elimination? So Lesnar was obviously 30. He eliminated Orton, McMahon, Bad Bunny, and Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre.
So that was the last. McIntyre was what?
McIntyre was the last one he threw out.
Was Riddle next to last?
No, McIntyre was next to last.
Who was the last person?
I see what you're saying. And so this is a tweet by Fightful. Directly from Matt Riddle. I was told at one point I was going to win the Rumble 2022, and then Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar, had him with the belt. Brock came in, didn't want to do business with everybody, and he said he was winning. Nobody stood up to him, and I didn't either. So it may not have been necessarily
Oh, so it
going
doesn't
into
sound like it was
business.
in the match.
That could be. Yeah, so that could be. But still, like, it sounds like it was in place that he was supposed to be, you know, one of the
So
final guys.
Well, so
here's the thing with that. Matt Riddle's tweet or quote or whatever said that at one point I was told that I was supposed to win the Rumble. I think we know at this juncture that being told at one point doesn't solidify that it's happening. Like things change so much and so fast. So you could be told at one point, like, yeah, I think we're gonna have you win the Rumble. But like, when was he told that? Was he told that in August? Or was he told that at the beginning of January?
This sounds like it's a same day change. Because if you read the quote, I was told at one point I was going to win the Royal Rumble 2022, and then Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar and hit him with the belt. That tells me that, like, after that is whenever the change was made. Now, again, you could be 100% correct. Like, they could have been like, you know what, let's think about Riddle here. And then, come fucking January, they're like, you know what, we're just going to go with Lesnar and make that change. But, like, the way that Riddle's tweet reads is that after Lesnar jobbed out to Lashley, he didn't want to then play ball. And then basically went back and said, okay, I'm winning the Royal Rumble. And no one, said boo about it. Because he's fucking Brock Lesnar.
So on one hand, I can see
Kind of a Jeff Jarrett situation.
sure.
Where they're
On one hand, I
he's
can
like,
see
hey, right.
yeah, I can see Lesnar doing that. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to run the Rumble this year. And like, what are you going to do? Tell him no? Like, what's Matt Riddle going to do? Be like, nah, man, I'm winning. Like, Lesnar will just come out there and grab you by the neck and throw you into the fourth row. On the other hand, there are a few things that stick out to me as like maybe not Matt Riddle. One is Brock Lesnar would have known in advance that he was losing the belt to Bobby Lashley. So why suddenly, after losing the belt to Bobby Lashley, did Brock suddenly go and flip that switch and go, no, now I'm grumpy. I'm winning the Rumble. Well, like, wouldn't he have been pitching a fit from the time that he found out that he was losing the belt to Bobby Lashley up until the day of the event, if he did have such a problem with it? Wouldn't he have been like stomping around saying like, no, I'm not going to do it. Or, well, you know what? You take this belt off me. I'm going to go into the Rumble and I'm going to win it. So take that. Like, why suddenly did that come out of Brock Lesnar after he lost the belt to Lashley? Like,
Well,
I'm sure him
okay.
losing the belt's not going to be a surprise.
Right. But, like, people think that Lesnar's this big, stupid ape. He's a pretty smart guy.
Right.
Like, I mean, if I'm Lesnar and I find that out, I'm like, well, fuck that. And then you're like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to be like, fuck that, because I want to get paid. So you go out, you do what you're paid to do, and like all the while you've been hatching this plan, saying, you know what? I'm going to fuck him over, because after I lose the belt, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm winning this damn thing. And there's not a soul in the fucking locker room that's going to say anything to him about it.
All right. Well,
because he can legit kick their ass.
Okay.
Oh.
So maybe. However, another problem that I have with that is, as much as I do believe that Brock Lesnar could waltz into the locker room and go, this is what I'm going to do, what are you going to do about it? I don't think... Who was in charge at that point? Was it McMahon still in charge?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think if McMahon didn't want that to happen, he probably would have been the only one to stand up to Brock Lesnar. Like, there's no doubt about it. Brock Lesnar could annihilate Vince McMahon physically. But I don't think that's going to stop Vince from standing back up toe-to-toe with Lesnar. Because if Lesnar came in and was like, Vince, I'm winning the Rumble this year because I'm mad I lost this belt. So what are you going to do about it? Like, I'm fairly certain Vince would have been like, test me. See what I do about it.
Are you kidding me? Vince would have had a hard-on for that. Vince would have been like, I love the fact that you're coming back here and taking what you want. Take some more of my money.
So, if that is the case, if that's how that transpired, Brock didn't go into business for himself. Brock went to Vince and was like, hey, I don't like that I lost this belt. I'm going to win the Rumble. And if Vince signs on and says, you know what, I like it, you have my blessing, that's not Brock going into business for himself. That's Brock going to Vince and saying, here's my pitch. I want to win this. I'm going to win this. How about that? And if Vince agrees and buys into that, then you have a change. Brock, in my opinion, if that's what happened, Brock didn't go into business for himself. Brock going into business for himself is showing up in the Rumble and forcibly throwing other people out so that he wins, or going into the locker room without any, just wrestler-wise going, here's what I'm going to do, try to stop me. But I think if Vince knew about it, you can call it politicking, that's fine. But if Vince knew about it and signed off on it, I don't think that's going into business for himself. I think that's Brock going to Vince and saying, hey, I'm politicking for this, and Vince going, you got it, buddy.
Right, but if it happens on the same night, is that politicking or is that
Yes.
strong arming?
It's politicking. How's Brock going to strong arm Vince that very night? If he already won the match, if the match was already,
by saying I'm going to win, like by
Vince would
looking
have
at Vince McMahon and
just taken him out of
saying,
the match. Like if Vince didn't want Brock to win, Vince would have just said, okay, well, you already had your match with Lashley. Goodbye.
right, but they're paying him, but they're paying him $12 million a year. He is a certified draw. Like ratings go up whenever Lesnar comes back for TV. Like that. These are facts.
Sure,
yeah, but at a certain point, he like Brock's not gonna cut off his nose just to spite his face. Like it's business. Like there's a give and a take, and for all the shit that we give Vince for being old and out of touch and trying to be the Walt Disney doppelganger, like he is a good fucking businessman. Look at how far he brought the WWE into the mainstream of things from back in the day. Like, so
Yeah, okay, but like here's the other part of that. As much as it begrudges me to say, was Brock Lesnar wrong? So here is
what do
your
you
main
mean? Was
event.
he wrong?
And say it so like the idea that like him winning the Royal Rumble would be a bigger deal than Riddle winning
well,
and being a bigger main event. Here's the main event of WrestleMania 38. It was hyped as the biggest match of all time or whatever, where it was title for title, Lesnar versus Roman. This is where Roman's WWE reign started when he beat Brock Lesnar for the title. So that, in theory, let's pretend that Riddle wins. We probably see Randy Orton get that title, and we probably see Riddle versus Randy Orton in an arcade blow up. Boring. Okay. Here we get like the two biggest draws of the modern age, if you will. Squaring off. Title for title. Like the beginning of one of the most monumental reigns in recent history. I know we're all sick of it, but like you can't fucking deny
well, it's already
that it was a
happened.
big fucking deal.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
Well, I
already.
mean, like it's happening. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about the Reigns reign. Again, we're clearly not fans of it, but the reign's a big deal. So like, and that's the other side. Like Brock Lesnar again is not a dummy. He knows what's best for business. And here's the thing. I'm not condoning, taking your workplace by force. and stomping your feet until you get your way.
Yeah.
I just think in this particular instance, Lesnar was right in what he did, and the fact that Lesnar is anticipated to be a big surprise entrant in the Rumble this year and have a big match at WrestleMania this year, and that Riddle is currently on the independent scene tells you everything you need to know about Brock's decision. So whether or not it was done that night or done by politicking in advance, like, it was the right decision.
See,
Oh, in
Um,
retrospect, it absolutely was the right decision.
right.
Absolutely, because even if the whole RK Bro thing didn't have a pop off at WrestleMania, if they did do title for title and it was Roman Reigns versus Matt Riddle, like, okay, neat. It's nice that Matt Riddle got to main event of WrestleMania. Like, whoopsie do. But that wouldn't have been nearly as big a deal as Roman beating Brock Lesnar for the belt at Mania, solidifying him holding both belts. Like,
Right.
no contest there.
Right. I mean, and here's the other thing of it all too, is we throw out the word politicking like it's some sort of dirty thing. Like, no, it's called being a smart business person. Like, everybody politics to one degree or another. Some people are sneaky about it. Some people go behind other people's backs and, you know, do things maliciously. But everybody politics to some degree. You have to. Not. I say this without, like, not in the sense of whenever we say, like, somebody going into business for themselves, like just deciding to change things up in the midstream of a match or something and say fuck whatever the plan was. But people have to go into business for themselves as far as politicking. Like, you have to be your own best advocate. If you're not going to fight for your own spot, then, you know, who do you expect is going to do it for you? You know what I mean? Again, varying degrees, but even if you want to use that term, even if Lesnar politicked his way into winning it, well, he probably fucking came up with a pretty damn good business idea, and in retrospect, obviously, yeah, it's definitely was the right decision. But I don't see I don't see you know, Riddle necessarily like coming up with the best idea for the direction of like where they want to go with stuff or whatever. Like, Lesnar's been around. He has a good rapport with, you know, he obviously has some sort of good rapport with Vince and Triple H because they keep bringing him back and they're willing to shell out money for him because he's, you know, brings in money for them. So, you know,
I did a little bit of digging here. This is a post from 2 years ago from PW Insider. The original plan was for the Royal Rumble winner was Matt Riddle. PW Insider has learned plans were changed over the course of the week a ton of times, and the final decision to have Brock Lesnar enter and win is a surprise. At one point, there was a pitch for Randy Orton to win as well. Blah 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 blah. So it sounds like this was like very late in the game, like that week. So basically, at best, Lesnar shows up on Monday Night Raw and was like, I'm not doing this. I'm winning the Rumble. And, you know, if you believe the tone and tenor of Matt Riddle's comments, it was a bunch of people being kind of mousy and, you know, meek, not wanting to step to fucking Brock Lesnar because he's a fucking
because he's Brock
Leviathan.
Lesnar.
Right. Which, you know, again, is fair. And again, like, I absolutely believe that Vince McMahon's the kind of guy that's like, if you fucking storm into his office, and if you're the right person, obviously, but if you storm into his office and you're like, you know, GD at Vince, I'm winning the Rumble, like, he is gonna respect that gumption.
Right.
And then, you know, question why everybody else didn't do that. So like, those things connecting, I could absolutely see Lesnar showing up to TV, even as late as fucking SmackDown, and being like, "Here's what's happening," and you know, and I mean, again, like, if Brock Lesnar being Brock Lesnar you're not going to make Brock Lesnar do. Nobody in the WWE is going to make Brock Lesnar do something he doesn't want to do.
Right.
So you either have so basically, if Vince, if he shows up on Friday nights and says, Vince, I'm winning the Rumble, or I'm not dropping the belt to Lashley, like Vince then has a problem on his hands. Because he has the undercard of Lesnar losing to Lashley, and that's going to be a big fucking like item in this whole thing. And if Lesnar's like, I'm not going to fucking do business unless I win the Rumble, then Vince is kind of in, a fucking Jeff Jarrett situation where he has to kind of acquiesce and go, okay, fuck him. Even if he didn't want to, if Lesnar's like, I'm not showing up, I'm not doing it, he probably had little choice. Now I know that there would be legal repercussions and things of that nature, but
right. Remind me again, so Lesnar dropped the title to Lashley at that Rumble.
Yes.
And then he won the Rumble. When did he get the title back between then and Mania? I don't remember. Was it at the next pay-per-view, or was it on a Raw, or what?
Probably Elimination Chamber.
Okay. I couldn't remember. And I do have one discrepancy.
Yes, Lesnar beat Lashley, Styles, Austin Theory, Riddle, and Seth Rollins.
That's right. Okay.
At Elimination Chamber.
Edge won the 2021 Rumble, not 2019. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch won in 2019.
No,
thank God we cleared that up.
You asked which one he returned at, which was 2019.
Well, no.
I meant 2021.
But okay.
He returned to 2019.
I thought
he didn't win the one. He didn't win the one he returned at. He went to the Final Four, but he didn't win.
Okay, then I was okay. I thought I didn't remember that he returned at 2019. I remember him returning and winning, but
okay. Tom tried to clarify his way into saying I know everything, and turns out
I was just reading the wiki. I'm confused. Sorry.
Oh well, listen to now. Hey, here's the thing. It sucks for Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
If what he's saying is true,
mm-hmm.
It sucks for Matt Riddle. But, like one of you two said, it's 2024. Matt Riddle's on the independent scene, and Brock Lesnar's still Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
So, while it did suck for Matt Riddle, was it the right decision? My opinion, I would say, yeah, it's the right decision. Because in 2024, look at where they're both at now. Matt Riddle's on the independents. If Brock Lesnar comes back at this Royal Rumble, it's going to be a gigantic pop. Massive.
Yep.
Well, look at all the problems that Matt Riddle's had in the last couple of years.
Yep.
Like, that problems with his family, problems with substance abuse or whatever. Like, I mean, I'm
gonna stand on a soapbox here. Weed is not a substance abuse problem.
Well, I thought he was on.
I don't care.
I thought he was. Hold on. I thought he was on something other than weed. Is it only weed?
I'm pretty sure it was only weed. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was only weed.
I thought it was
because
I won't call that a substance abuse problem either. If it's something else, pretty much anything else, like any other drug or even alcohol, you can call alcohol substance abuse 100%.
To quote Bob Saget, like you ever suck dick for weed? Like no, it's
no. I completely 100% agree with you with that. Like I thought that even back in high school when I had friends busting my balls for smoking weed, and I'm like, okay, how many fucking drunk driving accidents are there compared to how many people having accidents driving while they're high? I was like, and I had friends that were starting their lifestyle career choices and becoming alcoholics at a high school age, and I'm like, don't fucking preach to me. So I'm with you on that. No, I was seriously.
Was it?
Go ahead.
No.
So yeah, I mean, even like honestly, one of my best friends from like junior high up through high school and was friends with him for a long time. Like he is still a fucking. Like, he's, like, got the shakes that he was such a bad alcoholic. Like, I don't even talk to him anymore just because I'm like, fuck this guy. Like...
Yeah, girl, shake it. Was it more than just marijuana that he had substance abuse problems with?
I thought that's... I thought that's what I
It's not
remembered
fair.
hearing. I could be wrong. Don't quote
So
me.
at some point, I read that WWE's substance abuse policy did not include marijuana, and then I read a report that it did. So who knows?
Well,
And we'll probably never.
for a while it was including like the what was this Stevia or whatever the synthetic.
Stevia.
I can't remember what the fuck it was called. Sorry with an S. It was the synthetic marijuana because fucking that's what Reigns popped for, didn't he? Or Orton or both. At one point because I remember it being part of a promo between the two of them because they said like no enhancements needed. No? Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just
No
can't
idea.
remember which one of them was that it popped. I think it might have been Roman. I don't know. But regardless, like Riddle's had his issues in the last number of years and stuff like that. Lesnar has been consistent. He's been a consistent, just imposing, dominating force in WWE, and just like
he's a draw.
Yeah, and he's a draw. He is a fucking certifiable draw. Like you can't argue with that. If you gave me the keys to the kingdom, gave me all the money to start my own wrestling organization or something like that, and said, hey, you can sign your first wrestler free of charge, and you gave me the choice between Matt Riddle or Brock Lesnar, you better believe I'm fucking picking Brock Lesnar. Like that's a no-brainer. So
yeah. Look, I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
fever?
maybe.
Do you need more calories?
Always. Always. I have a problem with the Royal Rumbles as a whole.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
I understand that I have been chastised before by some of you on this show about how I need to suspend disbelief because it's sports entertainment. It's not football and hockey. It's predetermined. You have to kind of suspend your your belief in things. You got to kind of think outside. I get that. Okay. It's not me being all, logical Vulcan ransom. That's not it. My gripe is you can be eliminated from the Royal Rumble or not in the Royal Rumble at all, and you can still eliminate somebody out of the Royal Rumble.
I'm with you on that.
I don't understand like the whole Kofi thing. Or both feet have both feet. Oh, okay. That's funny, Kofi, schmooky, ha, ya, ha, ha, whatever. I don't like it, but I'll keep my belligerence to myself when it comes to that, because the precedent was set long ago with Shawn Michaels, and then it just kind of cascaded through time into, the debauchery that it's become today, standing on cupcakes, pancakes, wheeling around in a chair, having somebody carry you, whatever. Shut up, I hate it. But I'm not going to gripe about that. It is what it is. But I feel like this is a legitimate gripe that needs to be addressed. How can you get eliminated from the Rumble? You're eliminated now. Let's start with that one scenario. You got eliminated. You're out. You're not in the match anymore. Your place is to go away. How do you either reach up and grab somebody and pull them over the top rope and that counts as a legit elimination? Or you get back in the ring and then throw somebody out? How is that considered a legit elimination? So that's problem one, is that you were eliminated and then you come back and cause another elimination. Problem two, which I think is even worse, by a hair, is if you're not even in the match and you come out and you're allowed to eliminate somebody. How does the ref not go, wait a minute, person A, who wasn't in the Royal Rumble at all, comes to the ring, throws person B over the top rope, and we count that as an elimination? How does that work?
I agree.
I'm
I'm
done with my gripes. You two can either address this further or,
no,
chastise me for my not suspending of disbelief.
no, I am fully behind you on this one, Ransom. That's been something that's always bothered me. The the fucking goofy bullshit Kofi spots, or people's feet not touching the floor. That didn't bother me as much because I could read into the technicality of the rule. Both feet have to touch the floor, and I could suspend my disbelief on that. Regardless, after a while, it did get old. Yes. However, I am 100% behind you on this one. Furthermore, I would like to know, like, does the Royal Rumble, like, you can't get disqualified from it. So honestly, if we're gonna go from, like, with that line of thinking, what's stopping somebody from going out underneath the bottom rope, grabbing a chair, coming back in the ring, and just going fucking melee on everybody? Honestly,
That's
like,
happened. That's happened
Have.
before.
has it?
They
Which
have
one?
20.
Raven and some
Mhm.
ECW guys.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
when ECW came back, the ECW guy, I think Raven brought a shopping cart down and threw all sorts
Yep.
of garbage in the ring.
That one Rumble, I think that was like 2002, where Kane had all the eliminations.
Okay.
That was what I would like to call the quote unquote hardcore Rumble, because like for a good bit of it,
Ugh.
it was a bunch of like the hardcore people with the fucking bullshit street signs and chairs and shit.
Was that the year the Triple H one?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Gross.
Regardless, like, okay, so that time frame is kind of, I don't remember that one. That was a blind spot for me, so I didn't realize that had happened. But it's not something that we see happen regularly, and so
And you're not wrong in the fact that that is stupid.
right, yeah, like that would be stupid. If they did that, but by all means, apparently they could, because they have before. They choose not to do it now, but I wish they would stop the whole bullshit of, like, people people being able to eliminate people after they're already out or not in the match. I mean, from my own personal experience, fucking Royal Rumble 2014 here in Pittsburgh, seeing being there in person, and then seeing Kane squatting down by the barricade, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, like, who, like, I was like, he's gonna fuck somebody over. Who's it gonna be? And it ended up being Punk. I'm like, god fucking damn it, like, why are we having this happen? This is so dumb. Like, they shouldn't count it. They really shouldn't. There needs to be some sort of precedent set. And you could argue the fact, like, well, it's been this way forever. Well, things can change. Rules can change. I mean, literally, rules could change at the drop of a dime. It's their fucking company. It's their sports entertainment show. They can write the rules how they want them. They should give it a little bit more credibility just by doing this one tiny thing. Like, I get it. Everything's predetermined. Suspension of disbelief, all that fun, whatever. But you have to have some level of legitimacy to make it believable, to make it drawn in. That'd be like asking somebody to, get drawn into the Avengers, but having shitty CGI or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta make it believable. That's the end of my rant.
Well,
Beef?
all right. I am of two minds. Because we've had some very great Mania feuds come from these. In my mind, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, occurred from a spot that is exactly like this. However, more often than not, it's pretty harmful, I think. And I referenced it earlier. I think where it started which was the Sid Vicious Hulk Hogan thing,
Yep.
where Sid didn't necessarily come back in and eliminate Hogan, but he distracted Hogan, allowing Flair to win.
That was Hogan.
Well,
Hogan pulled Vicious out. Or
Oh,
Hogan
you're
grabbed
right.
Sid
Yep.
Vicious's arm
see,
because
Yep.
Hogan was supposed to be a face, and that was like that's a heel move to do that. So like,
Yep.
how did Hogan
Well,
wind
like
up getting away with that?
right.
that entire Royal Rumble, and anytime Hogan's in a Royal Rumble, watch what he does: back rake,
It's all heel
eye
stuff.
gouge, back rake, eye gouge, over and over again. He didn't know how to be a face. He was the biggest face in the fucking company. He couldn't wrestle like a face. I digress. And yes, the Kane thing was, I think, the tipping point for me.
Quick interjection.
Because it. Mhm.
Distracting is one thing. If you get eliminated and you're distracting the person, that's on them to keep their head on a swivel.
Hogan did literally grab Sid's arm.
No, that's once you start getting physically involved back in the match after you're already eliminated, or if you're not even in the match, once you physically get involved, now it's at a point where I'm not happy with that, and I think it's bullshit. But if you come down and you're a distraction, just like anything else, like any normal match, you can have you have your stables and you have somebody come down, or a manager or whoever distracting, but they don't actually physically touch the person. That's one thing. You can do that, and you could get to a WrestleMania feud that way without that person getting physically involved and breaking that plane of believability / legitimacy, whatever is I would be okay with just distracting.
So, like, that one sticks in my mind because, yeah, you're right. Hogan was supposed to be a face, and he caused Sid Vicious to get eliminated. Sid Justice, excuse me. So, but yeah, the Kane one I think was the tipping point because, I mean, already there was a lot of like unrest because there was no Daniel Bryan. So like that, and then like Punk was the guy that was in there the longest. He was doing like the Iron Man thing. Like he was probably the most over guy in there. And Corporate Kane, which is I think one of the biggest wet farts I've ever seen in the business, comes out. Fucking big slobby Kane with a big fucking gut and dress pants, like takes out Punk after being eliminated, fucking 20 minutes prior. So yeah, like that was kind of a tipping point where I'm like, I'm fucking over this. But the most egregious, I think we all can agree, is fucking Giant Gonzalez. At the 93 Royal Rumble with The Undertaker, where like the problem is that they book themselves into corners, and then they're not clever enough to get themselves out of the corner without a fucking meteor hitting the earth, Like, you have The Undertaker, who's this, like, bigger-than-life character who's just rolling in the Rumble. Like, no reason he shouldn't have won to go on to face Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9. But they wanted Yokozuna to win. Well, you can't have, Yokozuna beat Undertaker because that'd be silly. You can't have Undertaker beat Yokozuna because then you'd kill that feud. So, like, what do? You have this big fucking gargantuan man that speaks, like, no English. Just fucking walk down, and everyone's like, oh my god, look the size of this fucking guy. And just fucking, like, take him out with the fucking ether. Like, and that was the thing, like, or no, did he use ether in the Rumble? I don't remember anymore. Ether may have been their Mania match. Anyway, like, regardless, it was big and stupid. Like, everything fucking ground to a halt. Fucking Giant Gonzalez, who was not even in the match, comes out. Yeah, I think the problem is, like I said earlier, is that they book themselves in the corners. Like, where they can't have so-and-so get justifiably eliminated because they think it's going to hurt their credibility. Well, I mean, it's the fucking Royal Rumble. Like, what do you want? People get eliminated in the Royal Rumble all the time. The Rock's been in how many Rumbles he was eliminated from? Fucking Triple H, how many was he fucking eliminated from?
Right.
I think Austin may have won all the ones he was in. No, the only one I think he was in that he didn't win, as Stone Cold, was the No Chance in Hell one. But
Oh,
like, yeah, I
Lord.
mean, so like, yeah, I mean, so like, you're in a you can't have two guys go over. It just doesn't work. So it's silly, but sometimes you have to make the business decision. So I do understand that to a point, but yeah, it needs to end.
Yeah. Speaking of this year's Rumble, since we're on the topic of Rumbles, but not the Rumble match itself. Beef, you were you were saying something in our group chat. It's something that I think that I had brought up on one of the last recordings or whatever that we did, and about some thoughts about this title match coming up. Would you like to expound upon that for the listening audience?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
The title match. The Roman Reigns
Nah.
title match.
No, let's not talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it? Okay, let's talk
No,
about it.
let's talk about it. Let's talk
We're
about
gonna
it.
talk about it.
We all
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's fun to dream, but like just like we're talking about with the Royal Rumbles here. Like, okay, so the theory I had was that Randy Orton would beat like AJ Styles or LA Knight and win the title here. And you have
Cody finish the story.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I fucking lost myself in the own story. Yeah, so Cody would get to finish his story against the man who like brought him in and what made him part of the fucking legacy, and
Right.
would be a really cool ending. Absolutely, would be super neat, super cool. With the exception of a few things.
Wait.
Yes.
Hold on. You're
Yeah.
saying who's going to do what at the Royal Rumble?
So
Orton's
I
going to
think,
beat somebody and win the
yeah.
belt from Roman?
So I think it would be neat and kind of like cathartic. Because let's be real here. If they are planning Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, which again, I'm probably like 60-40 leaning that way. So it's a very close call for me. But if that's what they're planning, I think we can all agree that match does not need a belt.
Right.
The Rock doesn't care about the title. He cares about being the head of the table. That stupid fucking jalapeno necklace that fucking Roman Reigns wears.
Jalapenos.
So like it'd be really cool to have Orton pin someone that's not Roman, take the title, and have Cody back in at like Elimination Chamber or whatever, and be able to finish a story against Orton, the guy who brought him in as part of Legacy.
Right.
At Elimination Chamber?
No, at the Rumble
at
or at
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania. So basically, Orton wins the WWE title at Rumble. Cody wins some sort of number one contenders match at Elimination Chamber. Cody versus Orton at WrestleMania.
Right. Because
but
here's
where everything kind of spins out of control. I don't think that makes. First of all, I know I've kind of waffled on this a little bit, but I gotta believe that somebody in the back at WWE is looking at September and going, "Come on, we can have this guy beat Hogan's record. We can expunge that fucking orange piece of trash from our fucking records, and instead have Roman Reigns, the guy who beat cancer, be
Still not be the
easy to
longest
do.
carrier because of, two other guys.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
well,
what?
yeah, and
It's not like he's getting removed from the records. He's still like he would still be in the top 5?
top 5, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
So, I mean,
you'd be able to basically trump him because Reigns is still alive and so is Hogan. But you can say, oh well, you can basically push your guy right now, and just completely forget that he exists.
yeah, I get that. I get that.
So and again, like we've talked about how that record doesn't fucking matter because Hogan's record was with the WWE title, Roman Reigns' record is with the combined WWE and Universal titles. It started as the Universal, it ended as the combined. So like you can argue that legitimacy all day too. But I gotta believe that there's somebody in the back that has their eye on that going, More importantly, I feel Roman Reigns has held the Universal title for over 500 days or whatever. No, over 1,000 days. Excuse me. And the WWE title for at WrestleMania would be 2 years. Which in this day and age is kind of unheard of. Absolutely. And obviously, we're sitting here saying, "Oh, okay, this big long reign is happening so that somebody can get the dust from it. That somebody can get the scraps and be the guy who brought down Roman Reigns, who beat, basically had their career made, right? Punch their Hall of Fame ticket right then and there. If you back out of this in a fatal 4-way match with Roman Reigns not getting pinned but somehow losing those belts, it just fucking evaporates. Fucking 4.5 years of the Universal title reign. Poof, Thanos away.
Yeah. And I
I don't think they do it.
Right?
yeah.
I don't think they do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
So like
and
it's fun to pretend that like that'd be a really cool thing for Orton to do, and Orton and Cody have the history and finishing the story and all that. It'd be really cool, but I just don't see it happening.
I mean, I think whenever I had brought up that notion to you guys at first, I think that was before we found out that it was going to be a fatal 4-way, and I think it was just Orton and Reigns, or it was going to be projected to be Orton and Reigns. I don't think the 4-way was announced yet. And I agree with you. Like the one big looming thing is the fucking Hogan record, because I brought that up before. But you bring up a really good point with that. What if, though, do you think if they were still set on having Orton win, or if they're even toying with the idea, do you think they'd have him pin Roman and that way it doesn't poof away the title reign? Like, it's Roman could still argue the fact that, like, well, it took it took a fatal 4-way match for me to lose this. Like, nobody could beat me 1-on-1. You had to do it with the help of 2 other people, blah, blah, blah. Like, he could still kind of, do heel things and bitch about it or whatever. But at the end of the day, Orton still walk out with it? Or do you think they just wouldn't do it at all?
I think if they were going to have Orton win it, he would not pin Reigns.
Okay.
Leaving that on the table so that Reigns could come back and say, I never lost that title.
I mean,
I was never pinned for that title.
I see both sides of it too. Like, I agree with your point that it would kind of make it feel like, oh, like this amazing title reign just came to an end all of a sudden. Wow, that that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I think people would probably be happy that they'd have somebody that they're going to see more with the title, as they're assuming that Orton's going to hang on to it for a while. That the non-smart marks, like, thinking, okay, well, now we have Orton, he's back, and and we're going to see him more often than Reigns. And then WrestleMania comes around and Cody wins it. Now you definitely have somebody that you're going to see more than Reigns. So I think that would probably appease some people. However,
You know what? Let's talk about that.
yeah. Well,
so here's your red pill. Here's your blue pill.
Right.
The red pill is Roman Reigns continues his dominant run until September, beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Or the blue pill, Roman Reigns loses the belt at Royal Rumble without getting pinned to Orton, who then goes on to lose to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Which do you go with? Which is more enticing to you?
I don't know. I mean, I see. Like, here's
there are definitely merits and flaws to both of these things.
Right.
That's why it's an interesting discussion.
So either way,
why does it have to be Cody losing to Roman at Mania?
All right, so I'll take that stipend off the table. Red pill, Roman Reigns continues his dominance, beats somebody at WrestleMania, carries the title through at least September, maybe even next year's WrestleMania. Or blue pill, Roman loses the title without losing the title to Orton, and then Orton loses the title at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes.
So here's the thing with that: even if you have Roman lose the title here at this year's Rumble, you could still, by your own admission, have him lay the claim that he never actually lost it. So you're still getting some long-term booking out of it, but it kind of freshens it up because, I don't know, because then you're not. It's not just lol Roman wins anymore. Like there's a little bit of unpredictability because same thing with he hadn't been pinned in how long, and fucking Jey Uso was the one to do it. So if Jey was the first to pin him, well, now that opens up the floodgates. Anybody could do it technically because he's been you've now made this quote unquote godlike character fallible. So you've shown, yeah, he's a man. He can bleed. He can be beaten. I think it adds an interesting dynamic to if you're going to still have Reigns as part of long-term storytelling, have him lose it at this Rumble. And the only problem I see with that, though, is if they still keep him around and have him in the sniffing around for the title, then that kind of, I could see them, WWE, trying to kind of push him as a face then, which I don't want. I like Roman as a heel.
Holy shit!
What?
I want to continue this discussion, but breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. Wait, hang on. Breaking news.
That's something different.
Go on.
New Japan has announced that Kazuchika Okada is leaving. Kind of a big deal.
Interesting.
What is largely lauded as the best wrestler on the planet is going somewhere else. Tony Khan,
Oh, God.
4 hours ago, posted it's going to be an amazing 2024.
Oh boy, when's Okada's contract up?
Looking now. Knowing New Japan like I know New Japan, they probably are not going to know. January 31st, 2024.
Ugh. Well, I mean, I don't know that they would let him come in as a surprise entrant, but
he will be appearing in cards on February the 11th, February 23rd, and 24th in Sapporo. So
still for New Japan, like as an extension, or is that
yes,
a separate thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
This is New Japan. So what I'm hearing is his contract's up on the 31st of January, and he's doing New Japan a favor by sticking around for 3 more shows.
Real quick, are we
what
talking about the Rainmaker?
Yes.
we are. Breaking
right.
news. New Japan announced that Kazuchika Okada is leaving New Japan at the conclusion of his contract of January 31st, 2024.
Yep.
So he's working some additional dates, which means he's doing them a favor. What that also tells me is maybe they're going to do him a favor and let him work, I don't know, a date or 2 before his contract is up.
Ooh. Oh man.
Not saying, just
Fucking
saying. Put a pin in
speculation.
that.
By speculation
Put a
out the
pin
window.
in that.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. I want to get back to this red pill. So red pill, blue pill. So it sounds like Tom, you're on board with the blue pill, which is cool. Ransom, Poot, I'll catch you up here.
Okay.
Red pill, blue pill situation. Roman Reigns. The red pill is Roman Reigns wins at the Royal Rumble, beats somebody at WrestleMania, continues his dominance through at least September, if not next year's WrestleMania. Blue pill. Reigns loses the title at Royal Rumble without being beaten. Ransom, what do you think?
I really don't think there's a chance in hell.
So let me preface this by saying this. I'm not asking you what you think is going to happen or what you think has a chance of happening. This is your preference. You either take the red pill and it happens, or the blue pill and it happens. The other half of the blue pill, Poot, was that Orton wins the title at Royal Rumble without beating Reigns, goes on to lose to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, thus Cody Rhodes finishing the story against his mentor in the Legacy. Go.
Ew.
Ew, what?
You're asking me what I want to happen?
Yes. So somebody says, so Morpheus comes to you and puts out these 2 pills, and he gives you the options. Whichever pill you take is which one happens.
Got it. I take the pill where Roman retains at Rumble and retains at Mania.
Wow.
I don't want to see this big of a Tony Shalhoub happen where he's champion for so long, and he loses it in some random fatal, a bunch of different ways match where somebody pins somebody else that isn't Roman Reigns. That's how you get a belt off of a transitional champion. That's not how you get a belt off of somebody that has had a historic run and has eclipsed a number of different people and is over 1,000 days with the Universal title or whatever belt it was. You don't have him lose that historic streak by having person A beat person B and the champion over here go, oops, sorry, missed it. That's, no. You do that like, oh, I've held the belt for 4 or 5, 6 months. Yay, what a fun title reign it's been. My name's Drew McIntyre. Oh no, I've lost the belt because I wasn't paying attention and somebody pinned somebody else. That's when you do that. You don't do it by ending a historic reign off of, oops, I was looking over here and somebody Kansas City shuffled me and I lost the belt. I understand the whole premise of like, well, I never lost it, so here I come, coming back. Your reign's over though. Like the streak is over. That's like Undertaker coming back at WrestleMania going, I'm back at WrestleMania and I've just beat somebody. Your streak's over, buddy. Brock already beat you. It doesn't matter who you beat at WrestleMania now. It's over. So yeah, Roman can come back and go, I claim legitimacy and nobody ever beat me for the title. Sure. But at this point, who cares? The draw of Roman Reigns at this point is he's on this tear of a title reign. You end the title reign, you end any sliver of caring that anybody has left. Even if you turn him face, yay, I'm the hero now, Superman guy, no cancer for me, I'm going to go ahead and win the title back. Again, who cares? Nobody cares. Your title history reign, like, that's what people are going to remember. The length of time that you spent as champion on that tear. That's the important part. You getting the belt back off of a technicality? No. Pardon. I don't think there's any money in that. I don't think there's any investment in that. As much as I would hate, honestly, for Roman Reigns to carry the belt for another year, I just think that's the best way to do it. I think that's the best way to do it, is to have him hold it for another year, beat the opponents at Rumble, beat whoever at Mania. And again, like, but there's so many, like, what ifs. There really are. Because if he retains at the Rumble and he faces The Rock at Perth and not at Mania, if not Cody at Mania, then who? I don't know who. I don't know who it's going to be.
Okay.
And honestly,
good. Sorry.
No, I'm done. No. Real, I was just going to spin in circles. It's fine.
Ransom's in the red pill camp. Okay. Poot, you're coming to this hot, so I'm going to give you the option if you want to go, or I can give my opinion on it. Whatever you want to do, brother.
Well, I don't see the sense in him losing the belt. I don't, like, just for mixy uppies. Like, I don't.
And again, we're talking about Orton potentially pinning LA Knight or AJ Styles and beating and winning the belt.
No. I'm with you. I'm with you there.
Okay,
I'm with you there. Like, I don't think that's how he loses the belt. And like Ransom said, the biggest thing for me is it ends the streak. It ends the streak. It's the same thing of what happens with what is it? What is it? Wham-Sember or December, the thing where, like, you have to not hear Last Christmas by Wham.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Whamageddon.
Yeah, Whamageddon. Yes. Like, it's the same thing. You don't intend to hear that song, but you fucking randomly hear it. What does that do? Kicks you out of the game, right?
Until apparently there's a reverse Whamageddon, which I think is dumb, but
no, reverse Whamageddon, but bing bong bang.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I borrowed
that bull crappery.
I had to borrow that. For some reason, there was a bing bong bang sitting in my mouth, and it just had to come out. There, like, so, but that's the thing. It's the same principle. Like, you don't end and not even arguably a historic run. You don't end a historic run that way. You don't. That would be a misstep by WWE. I feel like it would leave people unfulfilled, and it would also make them going, well, I mean, fucking come on though. Like, if they were gonna do it this way, they should have just had LA Knight beat him. Why not? Like, no, seriously, if they're just gonna toss it away on some doofy curveball, then fuck you. Right. Put it on LA Knight. Like, at least get some mileage out of the sumbitch and push him to the moon. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's one of those things where I'm just like, okay. Cody facing old Swole Magoo. Like, I mean, like, yeah, that could be good. Like, that could be fun. Like, it's a good story. They know that they can get super personal with each other, and both of them are really good at needling and saying things that make people go, oh, you know what I mean?
Who's Swole Magoo?
Randy Orton.
Oh.
He's a big swole boy. He's a big old swole boy.
All right.
Yeah. But like, makes me swole. The
all right.
The thing. Calm down. I appreciate the support, Tom, but it wasn't that funny.
It was funny enough.
Derailed.
But that's my point. There's no reason. It's just like, to me, it feels empty and hollow and ridiculous. I don't want it to go that way. That's the pill I'm taking. I'm going to be in red pill camp. Like that's
Okay.
where I'm at, because
That's
the other way, it's not as fulfilling. It's just not. It's interesting, but it's not fulfilling. Makes sense?
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where
I
I'm at.
appreciate that. Not so
Is that
fast,
what you
my friend.
appreciate about me? No, not so fast.
I am gonna pick the blue pill 10 out of 10 times.
Wow. I never thought
You know
I'd see
why?
the day.
You know why? I know, right? It's weird for me and you to agree on
Because
anything.
you're a mark?
Yes. But also,
I mean,
because this Roman Reigns angle jumped the shark for me over a year ago. First of all, I don't believe that this reign of his means jack shit compared to Hogan's, which is what they're going to try to do, because again, it's a false equivalency. B, every single one of his fucking 32 title defenses in the last 5 years, he's had a little bit more, but not a lot, have been with interference. Every last motherfucking one of them. Oh, but there's no legitimacy there, because he can't win matches by himself. Last match we won by himself was against Rollins at 2021 Rumble, I want to say.
Yeah, when he choked him out.
So, been literally 2 years since he won a match by himself. So, yeah, you know what? It sucks. And it would feel like real bad planning to have the guy that took the Lesnar rub, who is the guy that took the Taker rub, lose the title without being pinned. Yeah, that sucks real fucking bad. But the entertainment quotient in the blue pill is off the fucking chain. Because then we can get Cody finishing the story and getting that title that his dad never won at WrestleMania, at the biggest show of the year. Then we can get The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for not a goddamn thing, the way that it should be. The Rock does not need to be involved in the title match ever again. Plus, ever. Plus, I think with the blue pill scenario, you can work in a situation where The Rock comes out to distract Roman Reigns, or get somehow involved to kind of take him out of the match to set up that feud. So to me, I am absolutely sacrificing this sham of a title run that doesn't mean crap anyway for a better match at WrestleMania now versus holding out for another year and hoping WWE does the right thing.
Very interesting. I did not expect Beef to agree with me on that, and I really didn't. What we like, I mean, we all kind of are on the same page with a lot of stuff, but there, little things here and there we get varying opinions, and a lot of times, Beef and I will be on opposite ends of the spectrum, and it's
absolutely because I'm a wrestling purist, and absolutely this title change with Roman Reigns should mean something, but it would have meant the most at Elimination Chamber 2023. It would have meant at least a little bit at WrestleMania 2023. We're a year past that, so I'm done with it. Now, yeah. So I'm done with it. Like I'm not gonna rehash all my old Roman Reigns hate. It's out there. Go back and listen. Bottom line is,
well documented.
I just don't think that there's any juice left in this stupid fucking title reign to squeeze. Let's just be done with it.
No,
Speaking
look.
of being done with it.
No,
okay.
we're not done
okay.
with it yet. Don't segue away while I'm speaking. You you hamstringed us into a red pill, blue pill scenario.
I did.
The best pill scenario, and fight me, I will tell you that you're wrong. And it's okay if you're wrong. Roman Reigns wins at Royal Rumble. Rock and Roman have their thing at Elimination Chamber.
Rock and Roman.
Rock and Roman Express.
Yeah.
They have their thing at Elimination Chamber. Roman and Cody have their thing at Mania, and Cody beats Roman at Mania.
Agreed.
That's best pill scenario right there. You get The Rock and Roman, get them out of the way before Mania, and you still have Cody win the belt at Mania, finishing the story against Roman Reigns, the guy he couldn't beat last year. It means more having, I think, Cody beat Roman, saying, finally did it, conquered it. You know, conquer my demons, but bing, boom, bong, bong, bang. See, I did it. I couldn't hold it in. I started it and I couldn't stop myself.
They just fall out of there, man.
They do. They fall out like fucking, swears. But no, I think that's best pill scenario.
I
I
agree with that.
If I have my druthers.
Yeah.
Now, Beef, you can finish it.
No, I
You can finish the story now, Beef.
You're 100% correct, Ransom. Purple pill scenario is the way to go, 100%. But we have a lot of other shit to talk about because things are coming off the presses here.
Oh boy.
There's lots to get into on the next show. Let's not tally any further. Somebody just name the sponsors and we'll go from there. Do the thing. Subscribes, web pages, streams, etc.
Sponsors in the description. Don't talk about it. Go.
Anuses.
No.